Welcome, everybody. Our guest today is my colleagues, Susan Shand. So welcome, Susan. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. I'm Susan Shand, and right now I am in the state of Connecticut, which is in what we call New England in the USA. It is a rainy, gray day. Normally it would be sunny and beautiful here, so I'm inside my house instead of outside in the garden. Today we're going to talk about the actress Gal Gadot. She is American and Israeli. She starred in the Hollywood film Wonder Woman 1984, and she is quite famous for being, well, extremely beautiful, but also very interested in women's rights and women as what we call engines of change in society. One of the interesting things about Gal Gadot is that she recently brought onto television a new docu-series. So what she did is went around the world as best she could because some of the filming was done during the time of COVID. She went around the world and she found very interesting stories about women, average women, not famous women, women who were real engines of change in their society and helped their societies, whether it's their small village or their local neighborhood, create change. We thought this was a good opportunity to ask all of you about women in your society who have been role models, which is a great vocabulary word, women who inspire others to become engaged and to make changes in your day to day lives.
And our question for you is uh, who has been a role model for you?
First of all, I think that in my life, the role model is my mom. She teach me how to respect other women and other person. And I think that many people know the sentence that say that behind every successful man is a strong woman. And in my case, my mom teach me many things that I really appreciate today.
And it's very appropriate now that we're coming up on Mother's Day. Mother's Day is this coming Sunday, I think, right?
You are very fortunate to have such a good and loving mother. What other women in your life or in your town do you see as being a role model?
I think that maybe my teacher many years ago, he teach me how to improve my life and choose the and choice the different things. For example, when I stayed in the college, many teacher say me that I had a study strong, very strong. For if I well prepared, I I can I can approach or I can take advantage for many opportunities in my life.
I'll take it globally and the Russian level, country level. Now we have first cosmonaut woman was Russian, Tereshkova, her name. She first woman who went to orbit, Earth orbit in
Uh-huh.
space.
Well,
Mm,
Valerie, one of the
Yes,
things I've always found very interesting about Russia, in particular in the history, is that Russia had women doctors and women engineers and women doing very, very hard professional jobs many, many years before the US and other countries did. In the 50s, Russia had women physicians and women engineers and women dentists. in the US at that time, women were not allowed to do those jobs. So I think many Russians, men and women, grew up with women role models as a part of their lives, which is very interesting about the history of Russia.
Yes, we have a lot of women engineers, women doctors. No, right now, women engineers not so popular in modern Russia. In Soviet Union time, yes, they are very popular, but not now. Women doctors, yes, now they are popular. No, not engineers anymore.
And I found a page that tells about the first woman in space.
Yes, she.
And can you pronounce her name again?
Valentina Tereshkova. Valentina,
Valentina Tereshkova.
yes.
And she was quite young, right? She was 26 years old
No,
at the
yes.
time.
It
Great.
was 40 maybe years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hello, and I'm from Tajikistan. Tajikistan, it is a little country between China, Afghanistan, and Uzbekistan. So, um, yeah, in my country, as as you said, or just second, my country was under a Soviet power. It was under Soviet power, and we also had an influence from Afghanistan because of Muslim influence from Afghanistan. So our women in maybe 19th century um, have to wear a burqa. As we know, it is it is a cloth that close your face, your hair, and etc. So after with establishment of Soviet power, Tajik women began to enter the government structure, and I want to introduce you to about I want to introduce you about a very great and interesting woman in our country who first threw off the burqa, this cloth. So her name is Maghfirat Karimova. So, and she was the first woman who threw off the burqa, and then she became a prime minister, a deputy. She became a deputy prime minister. She had a very hard way to become a deputy prime minister in the Soviet Union. As you mentioned earlier, you said in Soviet Union there was a lot of women and men. There were equality between women, no, almost equality between women and men in the government. Yes, I can confirm it. It actually is because even in my small country, Tajikistan, we had some kind of equality between them, and even a girl from a poor family like Maghfirat Karimova threw off the burqa, and because of her, our country became a conscientiousness. You know, it is a country where every religion is equally.
Toma, may I ask you a question?
Of course.
In Tajikistan now, are there any women that continue to wear the burqa?
Um, Actually, yes, but not so because you know, in our country there one president. He is in his position maybe for 20 years. He doesn't change his position, but he's very. I think he's against. I think he's against religion because he even banned against Muslim influence from Afghanistan, something like that, because he banned the beer for men.
Oh,
a very
beards.
beards.
Uh-huh.
Yes, for man, he just said it is banned, and if we find a person who has a really long beard, we will cut that beard in front of the public, and you have to pay a big amount of money because
Mm-hmm.
you have. So actually, we have that girls who wear burqas, who wears burqas, but mm, not so, not so many.
Yeah. I think I know the word that you were looking for earlier.
Uh-huh.
Was it secular?
Uh, Secular. Oh, maybe it is a country where religion when don't we oh just a second. It's
Yeah.
my bad. It is a country there is no one religion. For example, in Iran there one
No
religion,
official. Yeah.
Islam.
No official religion.
Not official religion. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So it's a secular society, a society that is based on secular laws rather than religious laws. And
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Secular.
Very interesting.
Yes, I want to talk about a pilot, female pilot, 1980s. She is Sabiha Gökçen. She was first world's female pilot. Fighter pilot is toughest, hardest job in the world, I guess. But she was good, and she was also an orphan, and one of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk children. Not only women, maybe all men in the Turkey accept role model as aviation.
Do you think she had an impact on the lives of other young women when she was flying her plane?
Of course, not today. Older times, children of girl maybe want to a pilot with their her role model. And on the other hand, she show us Turkish woman power. Maybe today some country allowed driver as car driver uh, lately, but in 1930s, Turkish women show their role in Turkish society. I think it's very important.
There is in Afghanistan, the women are growing up from until 2000, yeah, 2000. Before that, the Soviet Union was attacked in Afghanistan. After that, internal war in Afghanistan, and after internal war in Afghanistan, the Taliban came to Afghanistan, and after came the Hamid Karzai, the president of Afghanistan. So the women grew up. There is a lot of women to talk as a role model. Uh, uh, I wanna, I wanna to, team. There is a team, the girls team, the Afghan robotic team. They are they are maybe 20, yeah, 20 years old. In last days, they took place in top 30, top 30 robotic team. So there are a lot of women. They are growing up. Another one is the Shukriya Barzai. They grew up from a poor family in Badakhshan, and she's now became a parliament member, and nowadays she is ambassador of Afghanistan in USA.
Here
Yeah.
we actually did a story. I remember this story about the women, young women, who were doing
Yeah.
robotics.
Yeah. They are doing a robotic. They are making a robotic for a government to find the mines under the land. So
Mm.
they
To
are working for.
clear landmines away, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And earlier, before that we started this program, I was looking at this article about the new TV program with Gal Gadot, and it mentions that the inspiration from that came from Brazil, and we haven't heard from Rubens yet. Rubens, you're in Brazil. Would you like to tell us about a Brazilian woman who's had an impact on others?
I impressed with a woman called Olga Benario. She burned in German, but she escaped from the Nazi state. It's
Mhm.
correct. That's correct.
Mhm.
Nazi states from Brazil. He lives in Brazil. Here you faced the Nazi state too, but there's a movie here
Mhm.
told us her history.
Okay, and so I found that article about her, Olga Benario
Oh, Prestes, yes.
Prestes. Okay, and so she.
Her history is very uh, important to because her faced all the Nazi states here in Brazil and escaped from German.
So she was imprisoned in Brazil. Oh, and
Yeah,
deported to Germany and then executed. What a story. And this is somebody I had never heard about. Had you, Susan?
No. But I think a lot of the role models that have been discussed all have one common uh, personality, and that is that they are brave. And I think all human beings, we like, whether men or women, we like brave people. We like brave to know about brave people because by knowing about them and seeing their lives, we too can become brave in some ways.
yes.
Yes.
The future will be woman.
Yes.
Well, I only recommend it about the Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz. It was a great project for Mexico, well, in general for in Latin America, and she was born in like 1648, more or less. And the
Uh,
important for this woman for Mexico is in this time she called study in university in general because only study for the men, and
okay.
she was important because
Inés de la
when
Cruz.
she wanted to study for the university she couldn't, and then decided to transfer to men or to put on the clothing of men, and that is the way she wanted to study the university, and she collaborate for poetry, comedies, and dramas for Latin American.
Oh, so she went to university dressed as a man?
Yeah.
Ah, very interesting. She snuck in, huh?
Yeah.
And she lived what 1648 to 1695.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's there. Yeah, and she has a have a contribution with. There are another pottery from Mexico. It's Octavio Paz, but he had a lot of
The
contribution.
picture. But all of these people have this one thing in common that Susan mentioned. They were
Yeah,
brave.
yeah,
They were trailblazers for the others, right? They went where nobody had gone before.
yeah. Thank you.
Right? We're out of time for today. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody, and let's thank Susan for coming on board.
Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
See you.
Thank you, everyone.